Have you ever felt like your emotions are too much to handle? Like you're carrying the weight of the world, absorbing every emotion, every unspoken pain, every hidden struggle around you? As an INFJ, you don't just feel, you absorb. Every glance, every word, every shift in energy, it sticks to you. And while this deep emotional connection is a rare gift, it can also feel like a curse. Because when emotions become too overwhelming, you start to wonder, how do I stay strong without shutting down? That's where Stoicism comes in. A philosophy built on emotional mastery, not suppression, not detachment, but control. And when an INFJ learns to combine emotional depth with mental toughness, something incredible happens. Let's explore how you can balance both without losing the very thing that makes you unique. INFJ and deep emotions. Why INFJ feel emotions so intensely and how it can be overwhelming. INFJ don't just feel emotions, they absorb them, like an emotional sponge soaking up everything around them. A single conversation, a fleeting look, or even the energy in a room can hit them deeper than most people realize. It's as if they're wired to sense emotions before words are even spoken. But this depth comes at a cost. When surrounded by negativity, INFJ feel drained, like they're carrying the weight of emotions that aren't even theirs. A friend's sadness lingers in their chest. A stranger's pain feels personal. And no matter how much they try to shake it off, it stays. It builds. Until suddenly they're overwhelmed. This is why INFJ often need solitude to reset, to breathe, to find themselves again. But the world doesn't always understand this. People see them as distant, mysterious, even cold. They don't realize that INFJ aren't withdrawing because they don't care, but because they care too much. So how do they manage this? How do they stay emotionally open without burning out? The answer lies in Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that teaches emotional mastery without shutting down empathy. And for INFJ, it could be life-changing. The problem: emotional burnout, how absorbing too much emotional energy can drain INFJ. INFJ have a heart that feels everything, but there's a limit to how much even the strongest heart can hold. Imagine carrying a backpack, and every emotion you absorb adds another stone. A friend's pain, one stone. A stranger's frustration, another stone. The suffering in the world you can't fix, even more stones. Day after day, the weight grows heavier, and before you know it, you're exhausted, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually. This is emotional burnout, when INFJ have given so much of themselves that there's nothing left. They become drained, irritable, and detached. The same deep emotions that once connected them to others now feel like a burden too heavy to bear. And that's when the walls go up. INFJ retreat, disappearing into their own world, needing space to recover. But here's the danger: if they don't learn how to manage this energy, the cycle repeats. They give, they absorb, they burn out, over and over again. So how can INFJ break free from this pattern? How can they stay emotionally available without losing themselves? That's where Stoicism offers a powerful solution, one that transforms sensitivity into strength. Stoicism, the art of emotional mastery, how Stoicism helps manage emotions without losing empathy. Stoicism isn't about turning off emotions or becoming cold and detached. It's about learning to control what you can, your thoughts, your reactions, and letting go of what you can't. For an INFJ, this philosophy is a game changer. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, understood that we can't always control what happens to us. What we can control, though, is how we respond to those events, and that's where the real power lies. Instead of letting emotions overwhelm you, Stoicism teaches you to step back, observe, and decide your course of action with clarity and calm. For an INFJ, this means learning to create emotional space between stimulus and reaction. When you feel yourself absorbing someone else's anger or sadness, Stoicism encourages you to pause. Ask yourself, is this within my control? If not, let it go. If yes, decide how to respond in a way that aligns with your values. By practicing Stoicism, INFJ can keep their deep empathy without being consumed by it. They can feel others' pain and still maintain their emotional balance, offering support without losing themselves in the process. It's not about suppressing emotions, it's about mastering them. Lesson 1: control what you can. Let go of what you can't. How INFJ can stop overthinking and focus their energy wisely. For INFJ, overthinking can feel like an endless loop, spinning around the same thoughts, replaying conversations, imagining endless outcomes. The truth is, they often try to solve problems they can't even control, pouring emotional energy into situations that are out of their hands. This is where the first lesson from Stoicism hits home: control what you can, let go of what you can't. Imagine a moment when you feel your mind racing, your emotions tied to a situation that's beyond your influence. Instead of getting caught up in worry, Stoicism teaches you to pause. Ask yourself, can I control this? Can I change the outcome? Can I fix this person's pain? If the answer is no, release it. This isn't about ignoring reality or pretending everything is fine. It's about directing your energy toward what truly matters, the things you can influence. For INFJ, this means focusing on your own actions, your growth, and your purpose, rather than wasting emotional energy on uncontrollable external forces. By doing this, INFJ can preserve their emotional strength, prevent burnout, and stop the cycle of overthinking. They start using their emotional energy wisely on things that truly align with their values. It's not about shutting off emotions, it's about channeling them with purpose. Lesson 2: accept reality without resistance, overcoming idealism and learning to embrace life as it is. INFJ are dreamers, idealists who envision a better world, a world full of understanding, compassion, and balance. But the truth is, life doesn't always match up to these ideals. And when it doesn't, INFJ can get stuck in frustration, resisting what is, wishing for what could be. Stoicism teaches us an essential lesson: accept reality without resistance. This doesn't mean giving up on your dreams or settling for less. It's about understanding that life will never be perfect, and that's okay. It's about learning to embrace what's happening now, instead of fighting against it. For an INFJ, this can be challenging. When the world feels unfair, when people are unkind, when things aren't going as planned, it's easy to spiral into disappointment. But Stoicism reminds us that we don't have to resist these moments. We can face them head-on, with acceptance and grace. By accepting reality as it is, INFJ stop draining themselves on things they can't change. Instead, they focus on how to respond with wisdom, keeping their emotional balance intact. It's about embracing life's imperfections and finding peace in the present, without losing the drive to make the world a better place. Lesson 3: respond. Don't react. How INFJ can handle emotional situations with wisdom instead of impulsive reactions. As an INFJ, it's easy to fall into the trap of reacting emotionally, especially when someone you care about is upset, or when a situation triggers your inner beliefs. The natural instinct is to feel first, then act. But the Stoics teach us a powerful lesson: respond, don't react. Reactivity often leads to impulsive actions, decisions made in the heat of the moment, driven by emotion rather than clarity. But when INFJ pause before responding, they give themselves space to make a choice, not just an automatic reaction. Instead of firing off a response based on anger, frustration, or sadness, they step back and consider what's really at stake. This simple shift in mindset is transformative. INFJ can still feel deeply, but by creating that gap between feeling and action, they give themselves the opportunity to choose their response wisely. It's about thinking before reacting, allowing time for reason to meet emotion. When INFJs start to practice this, they stop getting swept away by every emotional storm. They handle difficult situations with calm, grace, and wisdom, choosing to act in a way that aligns with their values, rather than being controlled by their initial emotional impulses. Lesson 4: strength in solitude, using alone time to recharge and find emotional balance. For INFJ, solitude isn't just about being alone, it's a necessity. The constant flow of emotions from others can be overwhelming, and without time to recharge, they risk emotional burnout. Stoicism teaches us to embrace solitude, not as isolation, but as a source of strength. Alone time gives INFJ the space to reconnect with themselves, to reflect on their feelings, and to regain emotional balance. It's during these quiet moments that they can process everything they've absorbed and let go of what doesn't serve them. Whether it's through meditation, journaling, or simply being in nature, solitude offers them the chance to center themselves and refocus. It's not about escaping from the world, it's about replenishing their emotional reserves so they can continue to give to others without depleting themselves. Solitude is a tool, not a retreat. It helps INFJ understand their emotions better and come back to the world stronger, with a clearer mind and a refreshed spirit. By making time for solitude, INFJ can find peace amidst the chaos, creating emotional balance that allows them to be more present for others without losing themselves in the process. The balance, emotional depth, mental toughness, how INFJ can apply Stoicism without losing their sensitivity. For INFJ, the idea of balancing emotional depth with mental toughness can seem like a contradiction. How can you stay deeply empathetic and sensitive to the world around you, while also developing the mental strength to protect yourself from being overwhelmed? Stoicism offers the perfect solution by teaching INFJ how to combine both. It's not about shutting off emotions or numbing your sensitivity. It's about learning to manage your emotional energy with wisdom, so you can feel deeply without being consumed by it. By applying Stoic principles, INFJ can maintain their empathy, while also developing the resilience to handle emotional challenges without losing themselves. They learn that emotional depth doesn't have to mean emotional chaos. They can still care deeply for others, still connect on a profound level, but also draw boundaries to preserve their own well-being. The balance lies in embracing both sides, feeling deeply and responding wisely. INFJ can be emotionally aware and mentally strong, compassionate yet resilient. By integrating Stoicism, they can keep their sensitivity as their strength, not their weakness, living with both emotional depth and the mental toughness to navigate life's ups and downs with grace. If you're an INFJ, how do you navigate the challenges of feeling deeply while staying emotionally balanced? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights on mastering emotional strength and embracing your true potential.